From Berkeley, California, I'm joined by Ralph Shorman, author of Hidden History of Zionism. Welcome, sir. Mr. Shorman, first of all, with this report in, will there be any political and legal implications for those who assisted Israel in acquiring these nuclear weapons?
The question is really going to the relationship of imperialism to the Zionist state from its inception. In specific terms, now the issue of the use of nuclear weapons. There is a book, The Unspoken Alliance, Israel's Secret Relationship with Apartheid South Africa by Sasha Polako-Saransky, which details the joint development of nuclear weapons, including neutron bombs, by Israel and South Africa, and their testing. The well-known figure Mordechai Vanunu, who was kidnapped by the Israelis when he disclosed the evidence of the Israeli preparations for nuclear capacity and testing of weapons. Indeed, with the full panoply of evidence pertaining to this, he was kidnapped, taken to Israel, and held incommunicado for 18 years. There is a very sordid and menacing history of the use of these weapons to menace peoples across the world. I want to give a specific example, an illumination of this, namely the view of the Cameroon disaster, which Dan Fisher wrote about in the Los Angeles Times on August 27, 1986. Deaths occurred in which people were found frozen in place as if they'd been killed by gas. This was an event in 1986 in the Cameroon. It was immediately described as an event in which the Israelis were involved. Israeli and French troops were soon to be on the scene. In fact, Shimon Peres, who was the former foreign minister and prime minister of Israel, was quickly on the scene with a team. And indeed, the evidence about this was documented by Dan Fisher in the Los Angeles Times, as I mentioned, but also there was a detailed account by the Cameroonian journalists which specified the role of the Israelis and the evidence of a neutron weapon. The Lake Neos disaster, 20 years after, revisiting the Israeli connection by Debussy Tande. My wife and I had a role in this expose because at the time we flew to the big island of Hawaii, where a leading volcanologist in the island of Hawaii was involved in the report on what occurred in the Cameroon. He confirmed that the claims that this was the result of gases emerging from a lake, a presumptive latent volcano that emitted gases in Lake Neos. Those gases then reached the atmosphere and causing thousands of people to die in their tracks frozen, while no damage to property occurred, was quickly exposed as a myth. In fact, what we're dealing with here is a neutron weapon. One of the people who was most associated with the neutron bomb, Sam Cohen, who was working with the RAND Corporation in the United States, has detailed the neutron weapon. There's no question whatsoever, given what Vanunu has disclosed, given the evidence in the Cameroon, that neutron weapons have been used and tested by the Israelis with the approval and collusion of the United States and imperial powers, notably France. This is not a new development. The story is important, but it is the culmination of a series of documentations and revelations over a period of 20 and 30 and 40 years. These are crimes against humanity. These are ongoing threats to the peoples of the world. They define the relationship of Israel and the Zionist state to imperialism and the utilization of the nuclear capacity and of neutron bombs and weapons of this nature to terrorize the populations they seek to dominate, whose sovereignty they wish to destroy.
All right, we'll leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Ralph Shorman, author of Hidden History of Zionism, from Berkeley. Thanks for your thoughts there, sir.